good morning, and well, actually good afternoon. Welcome to the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board of Directors for Friday, October 13th, 2023. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Emily Kalchuk. I'm the Assistant Manager, and I will be calling today's roll. Reverend Ricky Burgess.
Here.
Dr. Jamil Bey.
Here.
Councilman Daniel Lavelle.
Here.
Councilman Bobby Wilson.
Here.
Director Karen Breen.
Here.
Director Steve Mazza. And Director Wanda Wilson.
Here.
We have a quorum. I yield back to the chair.
Thank you very much. Our first order of business, I believe, is public comment. Or is there a public comment? Please use the raise hand function in the bottom menu if you wish to speak during public comment. As a reminder, public comment is taken at the beginning and a second time at the end of the meeting. Please keep this in mind if you wish to make a public comment at the conclusion of the meeting. To begin, please state your name, neighborhood, and or organization affiliation. You will be given 3 minutes of which to speak. First speaker, please.
All right, this is Sally Stadelman, manager of the Pittsburgh Land Bank. I'm going to call on our only registered speaker, which is Tyler Schaub. Tyler, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Can you let me know when my time begins?
Yes, you may begin.
Perfect. Hello, board members, and thank you for your time today. My name is Tyler Schaub, and I work for the Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group, or PCRG. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of PCRG's Vacant Property Working Group members. These member community organizations have given their time, energy, and effort to work with PCRG on advocating for the city of Pittsburgh to have a fully functional land bank. Part of our efforts include our attendance at today's meeting and our detailed letter, which was provided to board members this week, expressing the importance and urgency of Pittsburgh Land Bank completing its negotiations and agreements with the taxing bodies. This group trusts that the Land Bank board members have or will read our letter and take the time to understand the purpose and intent of what we are asking of you. Community organizations and the residents of Pittsburgh are long overdue for the promise of a citywide land bank that will help empower and protect our communities, a promise that was made almost 10 years ago. The reality of the situation is that there are ample vacant and abandoned properties within the city and a growing need for equitable and inclusive land usage. As our letter details, there are very real costs and risks associated with vacant and abandoned property, and the city's residents should no longer have to carry these burdens due to the inability to establish a fully functional land bank with its actualized title clearing powers. Every day that the land bank goes without its taxing agreements is another day the land bank is unable to achieve its creation purposes. Thus, the land bank's taxing body agreements should be a top priority. Through both state and city land bank legislation, the Pittsburgh Land Bank has the powers to begin negotiations with the taxing bodies, and us community organizations are asking and supporting the land bank to do so. As mentioned in our letter to the board, we ask that the Land Bank Board initiate negotiations with the city of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Public Schools, and Allegheny County. We also recommend that the existing agreement between the Land Bank and PWSA be renegotiated to strengthen its cooperation commitments. Again, these negotiations and the actualization of a fully functional land bank should be a top priority. The negative impacts of vacant and abandoned property are well documented, as is the potential for the land bank to be an invaluable resource for reinvesting in our communities. With the remainder of my time, I'll leave the board members with a reflective prompt. Through whatever way you came to be sitting on the Land Bank Board, accepting this leadership position comes with the responsibility of prioritizing the land bank's functionality and ensuring that the land bank is serving the city's residents, as it was intended to do. I ask that the members of the Land Bank Board reflect on what they are doing to carry out the responsibilities to the Pittsburgh Land Bank. After almost 10 years of community organizations expressing their needs for a fully functional land bank, how can you utilize your position on the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board to move the land bank closer to being the resource that our city needs and deserves? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tyler. So I do see about 7 other participants, but no raised hands. So I'm going to pause for a moment. If any of our other attendees would like to make comment. Okay, and there's also a public comment period at the end of our meeting as well. All right, with that, I yield back to the chair.
All right, so that brings me to my report. The first thing in front of us is the approval of the September 2023 board meeting minutes. I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
This is the motion to approve. Any other conversation? If none, signify, everyone approved by signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. Thank you very much. One abstention?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And that also takes us now to the acceptance of the September 23rd, 2023 financials and approval of the monthly expenditures. Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any conversation? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. All right. Finally, it takes us to the approval of the URA quarterly invoice for the quarter 3 of 2023. Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying, any conversation? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, say no. It is approved. All right, that takes us to action items. And that is, we have an authorization for the Pittsburgh Land Bank to enter into an agreement with the URA for the receipt of American Rescue funds based on the proposed use and funds. So I'll turn this over to Sally and you'll take it from here.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just briefly recall the board approved the new ARPA budget last month. This month, we're just looking for a formal authorization that we'll need in order to enter into an agreement with the URA to receive those funds.
So I need a motion. That's not on my, do I need a motion for this, Emily or Sally?
Yes, and yes, right on the, you can even read this text right here on the PowerPoint if that's in front of you.
I cannot see your PowerPoint. For whatever reason, it's not showing.
So I guess whoever is making the motion. So I'll motion to authorize the Pittsburgh Land Bank to enter into an agreement with the URA for receipt of American Rescue Plan Act funds based on the PLB's proposed use of funds and programs.
So second,
Second.
all those in favor, any conversation now? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers,
Aye.
nay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, the slides on my screen are not advancing. I don't know if
So-
anyone else is seeing them advance, but I'm not seeing the slide. I'm not seeing anything beyond the introductory slide.
And my slide was dark. I didn't see anything at all. So, and now I don't see any slides.
Yep. Thank you, Director Brain, and thank you, Chairman Burgess. I'm going to stop sharing and we're just going to hope that our internet carries us through. I'll reshare. We can go back to any slides that board members would like to see. Apologies for that.
All right, so the next thing is acquisitions. And we have a list of acquisitions I would prefer. And you have to help me, Sally. Can I do them all as one motion or do I have to do them individually?
So we will need individual resolutions as we're closing. We have to provide resolution numbers to the individual title companies per sale. So we will need a motion for each project.
All right. So do you want to read them or you want me to read them? How do you want to proceed?
If we could flip through each slide, I could do a quick overview of the project and then
We won't be able to see the slides. So maybe I think it's up to you, but we can't see the slides. So maybe the way to do it is that I'll ask for the motion, then you talk about it, then we'll approve it.
okay, we could do that. Let's see.
Right.
Sally, you could steal the screen share and we can see if they'll come up on yours.
Okay, yes, let's see. I've got the PowerPoint open too. So let me just try that really quickly. And then if that doesn't work, we will try we will try that plan. Let's see, and I'm on a different Wi-Fi than Emily, so hopefully this will behave. Just give me one moment. Apologize for the delay here. Huh, well. Let me see. Okay. All right, so what about now? Can folks see?
Yes, I can see them now.
All right, let me enter into presentation mode and we'll see how far we get.
All right,
Oh,
I can't see it, but that's okay. You can just go, you go, Sally. I'll wait till you're finished.
sorry, I didn't start on the right screen here. Let me just get through. Sorry, let me get, oops.
Sally, while you're doing that, I think it might be good for us to, just as a matter of order, figure out if you could batch them, but then still have, but almost the action
Yeah,
would say to create a resolution. I don't know if you could, if the wording could be worded in such a way that that would work to still give you what you need, you know what I mean?
sure. We have our attorney, Matt Sanders, on the line here. And it was Matt that advised us about the breakdown. Matt, would you be able to speak to?
Almost even saying like, we want to have a motion for the following resolutions, which are listed, you know what I mean? Like, and they would all be batched together. So you could have what you're looking for.
I think that we need individual resolutions. If the board, just for brevity's sake, wants to say resolutions 1, 2, 3, and 4 and vote on them, I don't think that's inappropriate unless there is, somebody decides to vote against one of the resolutions. In that case, I would be worried that you couldn't approve them all if there was one that didn't get approved. That makes sense.
Right, so maybe during the discussion phase or something, a motion or something like that, it could be, do we need to pull any of these out, or, maybe they're in smaller batches or something. But yeah, I just think it's going to be something that's going to come up for us as in future meetings, always, multiple properties. So just thinking of a way.
Okay, so
because I almost feel like it's both for time, but it's also for your record keeping, can end up being a lot of cutting and pasting and a lot of like, did we get all this like correct in the notes and everything? So in some ways it's also can facilitate just an ease of, of just record keeping ultimately, so things don't get incorrectly, just cut and paste and that kind of thing. So
Would that matter?
it should be right on the slide, so as long as we're
Okay.
there. Okay, so it sounds like what I'm hearing is I can read through each project. I'll pause for questions or comment from the board. And then when we reach the end of the list, we'll do one motion to approve. We don't have them numbered today. We apply the resolutions after the fact, but in the future, we could number them.
What we could do, when I talk to the attorney, let's just do it this way to make it so that we know we're on good ground. I will introduce the motion, get a motion in a second. You explain it, we'll approve it each one. All right?
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
All right. The first one is the acquisition and sale of Hillcrest Street, 50G 49 129 in Garfield. That is I need a motion to acquire.
So just for, you want me to read the entire motion, the motion to approve the acquisition of block?
No, just say, no, I already said, once I already said, I just need a motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Sally,
So this project is part of a site assembly. The Allegheny Land Trust is looking to purchase the land that the Hillcrest Urban Farm currently sits on, so that this can be permanently preserved as green space and an urban farm in the neighborhood of Garfield. This project is being completed in collaboration with the Bloomfield Garfield Corporation and the nearby Environmental Charter School. In future meetings, the land bank plans to also be acquiring and conveying additional city-owned parcels within this block as well. I'll pause for questions or comment.
any conversation? No conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. Thank you very much. That takes us to the second one, acquisition and sale of Crispin Street and Trimble Street, 45H 264, 46A 310, and 323 Perry South. I need a motion to acquire.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second,
Sally?
second,
So this project is for the transfer of Ballfield Farm, which is a longstanding community-run farm on Crispin Street in Perry Hilltop. This will be transferred to the Allegheny Land Trust so that this land can be permanently preserved as that farm and hillside green space.
Any conversation?
Yes, any questions or comments?
No conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. That takes us to our third listing, the acquisition and sale of Liddy Street, 9M171. It looks like Crawford Roberts. And I need a motion to acquire and sell.
So moved.
second,
Second.
Sally,
So the summary here is Amani, the end user will be Amani Christian Community Development Corporation. They already own additional parcels on this block. So we're looking to sell this as part of a completion of a site assembly. And the intention will be to construct new construction, affordable single-family homes in the form of a duplex.
any conversation? No conversation. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
nay. All right, that takes us to item D, which would be the acquisition and sale of Bedford Avenue, 9M 273, 274, also in Crawford Roberts. Sally,
This is a side yard sale that Brenda Tate, the adjoining property owner, had been looking to complete through the URA. In this case, Brenda is actually looking for a family member to acquire the lots. And so in this case, it made sense to make this transfer, this pilot transfer of these side lots through the Pittsburgh Land Bank.
any conversation? No conversation. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. All right. Item E, acquisition and sale of Winslow Street, Maxwell Way, 124P11A Larmer Community. I need a motion to acquire and sell.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All right, Sally?
So this is one half of a garage. This parcel was originally acquired as part of Larimer Choice, but is no longer part of that program. Because there were no plans. The other half of the garage was recently purchased by a private owner. Was under the impression he had purchased the whole structure. It's almost impossible to complete any kind of stabilization or demolition with one half of the structure being owned by someone else. And so in order to make sure that this is able to move forward and be repurposed within the community, the proposal is to sell the other half of the lot to the other half of the garage to this private owner for private use. Any questions or comments?
Seeing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. All right, Next is, it looks like item F, the acquisition and sale of Little Street, 56P72A in the Hazelwood community.
So you'll see on the map here, you'll notice a
I need
Oh,
a
excuse me.
motion. I need a motion to, I took a pause, sorry. I need a motion to acquire and sell.
So moved.
Second.
Now, Sally, it's yours.
Thank you very much, Chairman. So you'll see on the map here, a playground here on Lytle Street in Hazelwood. This is already owned and maintained by Hazelwood Initiative. So they had started the process a while. They had previously started the process to acquire this parcel through the URA simply to complete this playground site. So this little sliver of land will just become part of the playground and will be maintained by Hazelwood Initiative.
Any conversation? Seeing no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there's nay. All right. Item G, the acquisition and sale of Hazelwood Avenue, 56B 326, also in Hazelwood community. I need a motion to acquire and sell.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Sally.
So this project is part of a larger project planned by the City of Bridges Community Land Trust. But we wanted to take this opportunity to move this first parcel along. So the City of Bridges Community Land Trust plans to build a 4-unit but single-family affordable for sale residential development here, a 4-plex, if you will, and are also working closely with the URA on this project as well. Any questions or comments?
If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, there's nay. That takes us to item G, which is the acquisition of 1843 Webster Avenue, 9S 200 in the Hill District. Sally, I need a motion. No, I need a motion to acquire.
So moved.
Second.
So this parcel is a little unique for the land bank as we're going to bring it into our inventory without an end user. The intention here is to offer this property to sale as a side lot to the adjoining property owners. This is a property currently in the URA's inventory as well.
Any conversation? No conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed is nay. And I think the final one is item I, the acquisition of Bell Suver Avenue 14E 163, 164, 165, 167 in the Allentown community.
Motion to approve?
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, Sally, thanks, Dr. Faith. See you in, Sally.
So these parcels are adjoining the Soil Sisters. They have a storefront here in Beltsuver Avenue. They've applied to use these parcels as an urban farm and is expansion of their programming. At this time, as they're applying for grant funding, we wanted to kind of begin the acquisition process, and we'll return to the board at a later date with a proposal for sale.
Any conversation? Seeing no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposers, nay. Next, we have the legislative updates. And again, back to you, Sally.
Oh, yes, and just quickly, I just wanted to mention, as we've now approved these sales, and I apologize, I meant to say this at the beginning and was distracted by our conversation. So the parcels, everything that we just approved is coming out of the URA's inventory. I just want to mark that this process is going to look different than when the land bank is acquiring through the city. So all of those many were longstanding projects that had been making their way through the URA and will simply be disposed of through the land bank. Now that they have been approved by the board, we are going to enter into our objection period. So the land bank will have all of these sales listed on our website. We will also place signage on each parcel. So if residents have any concerns, they can reach out to the land bank and we're happy to answer questions. If we happen to receive 15 or more objections to the sale in the 20 days following its approval, that will trigger a community meeting. So the land bank will go out into the community, hold a meeting, gather additional feedback, and then bring that back to the board for a second vote. So look out for that signage or visit pghlandbank.org/pending sales for more information or to ask questions, voice your support, or register an objection. All right, back to you, Chair.
Back to you, legislative updates.
Well, oh, apologies.
That's okay.
And sorry, I just really quickly, I did want to point out where we were in this process. So if you recall, we had this slide up last month. These were all approved by the URA board on September 14th. So this is our next step in the process here, that the land bank board authorizes that transfer. Several of these parcels actually went back to city council for a second round of approval because they are located in a redevelopment area. And so now we're entering into that 30-day objection period. And we hope to begin those sales starting on November 16th. Now I will hop into legislative updates. So first I wanted to touch on the 3 taxing bodies agreement. This is upcoming work that the land bank is certainly looking forward to participating in. This is an existing intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the city of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, the Pittsburgh School District, and PWSA. Name's a little misleading. There's actually 4 bodies involved in the 3 taxing bodies agreement. And a quick overview of why this agreement, why it is so important for the land bank to have this agreement renegotiated. So ultimately, the Pittsburgh Land Bank is most effective when using the sheriff's sale. The process overall is shorter. We estimate we can complete sales within a year and a half using that process. The sheriff's sale offers the Pittsburgh Land Bank a priority bid. So unlike the current treasurer's sale that is an open auction, property that the land bank places into the sheriff's sale will be awarded to the Pittsburgh Land Bank. There is no open auction portion of that process. And finally, our quiet title powers are more effective and efficient when using the sheriff's sale as well. And so and as an example, and why we need, so the Pittsburgh Land Bank today, we could begin using the sheriff's sale. We have access to it now, but without a renegotiated agreement, the expectation is the land bank would pay the upset price, which is all back taxes and liens on a property. So that's would be extremely challenging if we're trying to facilitate the stabilization of property, the site assembly for future affordable housing and green space, paying upwards of $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 could really be prohibitive in the land bank being effective. So what we'd like to see is something similar to what our sister land bank to the east has in place. Their intergovernmental cooperation agreements allow them to pay a flat rate of $3,000 for the properties that they purchase at sheriff's sale. Any questions or comments on the 3 taxing bodies agreement? Okay. And just finally, I will end with a quick update on the tri-party cooperation agreement. We are waiting for circulation for signatures on this agreement. We're really excited to have it signed, which means that likely by next month, we'll be able to begin introducing property in the city's inventory for approval by the Land Bank Board once this agreement is in place. And that concludes my comments, and I'll pass it back to you, Chairman Burgess.
Thank you very much. That takes us to public comment at the conclusion of the meeting. Is there anyone in our feed that wants to speak to the board, this is your time. Again,
All right, give me one moment to,
if you raise your hand, the staff will find you, seek you out, and give you an opportunity, and still give you 3 minutes.
okay, we have no raised hands in the, with the attendees. Just want to pause
Okay.
for a moment if anyone's having technical difficulty. Any attendees that would like to speak? Okay. So we see,
Okay.
we have no.
Anything from members? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.